The first taste of rare bourbon you finally got your hands on. That's nice. At Caskers.com, we make this experience easy. Caskers is a one-stop spirit curator with an impressive selection of exclusive, sought-after, rare, and household names in the realm of premium spirits and champagne. Discover the top flavors of the year now by going to Caskers.com and using code WELCOME10 for $10 off your first purchase. Get $10 off your first purchase with code WELCOME10 at Caskers.com.
The following program is brought to you by your friends at Podcast One. Now, Podcast One brings you Spike's Car Radio, a downloadable cars and coffee, hosted by writer, comedian, and automotive enthusiast Spike Ferriston, and recorded live from the porch of the famous Malibu kitchen, where Spike and his celebrity guests sip some Java, talk life, and of course, talk cars. Now, here's Spike.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the first inaugural Spike's Car Radio here on the porch of the Malibu kitchen. Let me tell you about this place. This is Malibu, California, if you haven't been. It's a little coffee shop and deli run by a guy named Bill Miller, who's from New York originally, who they call the Deli Nazi. Anyway, Spike's Car Radio is going to be recorded here on the porch of the Malibu kitchen. I think as frequently as we can do it. We call it a porch cast. And the idea is we're exporting a little bit of Malibu out to you folks who like cars, who like coffee, who can't get your butts out here. And I've been doing this drive for about, I would say, 15, 20 years. And today I'm here with my core guys, the guys I do the drive with the most. My co-host today, Mr. Paul Zuckerman. Hello, Paul.
Hello, Spike.
It's good to see you, my friend. Tell everybody, you're a personal injury attorney. You probably have the most successful firm here in L.A. It makes you lots of money, and what do you do with that money?
I squander it as quickly as possible on cars.
That's right. And you and I have known each other, boy, for a long time, right?
At least 15 years.
And I you can hear, this is what I love about doing this here. You can hear the cars starting up behind us. By the way, a lot of cars showed up today to celebrate this inaugural podcast. And the most interesting one we'll talk about in a little bit.
So what's this pulling in at? That's a BMW M6. Looks like a late 90s, 80s? 87.
I'm sure you recognize that voice, folks. When I asked him how he wanted to be introduced, he said, I kind of like when people just say a comedian who lives in New York, and that's Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry, welcome to the porch.
Nice to be here on this porch cast. We have talked about doing this for years.
A long time.
Yeah, we thought this would be fun for people to have a little cup of what we get to drink gallons of, which is the bonhomie, the camaraderie, the automotive environment. We rarely talk. What I like about coming here with you guys is that we really try and restrict all conversation to cars, which other people don't want to talk about. You don't have people around you in your normal life.
That's right.
Which is why I think car people are so loquacious. Mm-hmm. Because if they find anyone that will listen, they will just wear you out. Yeah.
For me, this was a way to monetize breakfast.
Right.
So we can eat and get paid. But, you and I went to the ball game last night.
Right.
There's a whole new thing happening for you right now. You started a revolution with this hugging thing. What? Before we get on to cars...
Okay.
What happened? You're on a red carpet somewhere for something, talking to a guy?
I was doing a benefit for Transcendental Meditation, which is my preferred form of rest and recovery, for the David Lynch Foundation, and I'm doing a red carpet, of which I've done zillions. And a woman who I didn't know who she was and never met just interrupted the thing and said, "Give me a hug." It's just a total stranger. And
in the middle of an interview, too.
In the middle of an interview, and she was kind of outlandish looking. I found out later she's a performer and looked the way she was supposed to look. But I'm a very big civility guy. Mm-hmm. I love basic manners. Small civilities, I think, are the key to human survival.
Right.
In the society that, for some reason, we like to live together, even though we can't stand each other. So these small civilities enable us to survive. Mm-hmm. And excuse me, to me, is a gigantic thing. Excuse me, I'm so-and-so.
Right.
Oh, my God. And now, all of a sudden, we have a relationship. But opening with, give me a hug, is just, that doesn't work for me anywhere at any time.
Are you a hugger in any way?
Yes, I like to hug men. If
What does that mean? Zuckerman.
If they're slim and they're intelligent, I'll hug a man.
Very questionable.
Yeah,
You
I like slim, intelligent men.
now there are people. I happen to be going back and forth with Michael Strahan about a car or two in the middle of this, and he at one point said, "Hey, Jerry's never hugged me," which started me thinking.
But he's a football player. He's hard to hug. He's a giant guy.
But then I thought, have I ever been hugged by you? And I have once.
One time.
I was hugged once. Do you remember?
Yeah, and
was-
you didn't like it. I remember that.
It was when my father died.
Yeah.
So the question is, and it was appropriate, I thought, at that moment, but is that what it takes to get a hug from you? Does someone have to die?
No, just your father. That's what it takes.
We were
Don't you think that's appropriate, Paul?
Absolutely.
Someone loses a parent and you haven't seen them. That's a pretty major loss.
This society these days way too friendly, way too familiar.
Right.
Keep your distance. and what you said is the social contract. That's how
Yes.
we don't kill each other.
Small civilities.
Here's what's so interesting about it, and we'll get on to cars in a minute, but what's so interesting to me about it, we're at the Dodger game last night, and it's now everybody's saying, "Hey, Jerry, can I?" Everybody thinks it's
Yeah.
a funny joke, come up to you
Yeah.
and ask for this hug.
Yeah.
And it's replaced the question they usually ask you, which is,
Where's Kramer?
Where's Kramer?
Yeah.
And we were looking at Instagram, and someone had already painted a mural about the whole
Melbourne,
thing.
Australia. Somebody put a mural on the side of a building of me and Kesha no hug incident. I can't believe that nobody's connected this with the no hugging, no learning motto
Of the show.
of the TV show.
That's right.
That's the obvious connection.
That,
But, I don't
do you
know.
know that, Zuckerman? Are you aware of any of that? That was the
There was
credo of Seinfeld.
That was
when
our
we were writing the
supposed
show.
motto.
Right.
I
No
did not
hugging,
know
no
that.
learning. No sweet moments.
Right. We thought that was refreshing
Yes.
when nobody learns anything at the end of the episode.
All right. Let's talk cars. What did you drive here today, Jerry, and why?
Well, that's a big question. Not the what, but the why.
The why.
Why you drive what you drive. Well, Paul had something new, and I have something that Paul wants, so it seemed fun to me for me to bring what he wants to ruin his excitement for something new that he likes. But also, I thought I might like it, and Paul and I have a very flirtatious relationship in automotive, what we call them, we secure or release various automobiles. Mm-hmm. But Paul just got this fantastic, very unique 964 in maritime blue, 92, 3?
It's a 92.
92. Sunroof delete, radio delete, RS suspension. It's just got a very
Beautiful
unique
car.
vibe to
Right,
it.
right.
And I have a 71 911 Targa that Paul likes that I bought with just a couple hundred miles on it.
I remember finding it for you in a magazine.
You did?
Yeah. It was on that list of cars. When I find things that I can't afford, you're my
Right.
first call, so you can buy it and I can drive it.
Wow.
Do you not know that by now?
No, I know that half of the cars I have you found and couldn't afford. So this has been a very symbiotic relationship that we've had.
And when
I gave you taste,
Right.
and you gave me some connections.
So
tip-offs.
you drove that car today, and when we all met down at the Shell station, you guys switched cars.
Yeah, because we both wanted to. I wanted him to experience the 71 Targa.
Right.
And this car he has is so unique, and I love 964s also.
Right.
So I wanted to see what that was about.
Well, what happened, Zuckerman? You drove that car. Did it make you crazy?
Yes, and that's kind of the mission between the two of us is to who can ruin the other guy's day when it comes to cars.
Well, that's what I want to know. Whose day is ruined right now?
Both, hopefully both.
Really? I don't know. No, it was great.
I-
I really loved driving his car. It was really interesting and different car. We're
Right.
we're already getting into a micro niche here,
Right.
of the sub genres of 964 Porsches, but that's what I hope that you're getting that kind of an audience that even knows what we're talking about.
I think so. I think when they see the three of us here at a table or hear us, they're going to expect Porsche talk. There are a lot of
Right.
Porsche people who showed up here for the first podcast. But Zuckerman, the thing that can't get out of my head is, so you just took delivery on the car, right? And that little side light fell off, right? Let's talk about that when you get that new car. And it happens to all of us. You
Yeah.
get this new car, and that first day before you sort it, there's always 3 or 4 things wrong.
And
Has it ruined your day?
Yes. And I'm not like you. You look forward to that.
I don't. I hate it. I really hate
You
it.
take delight in fixing it. I look at that, and I almost want to sell the car.
Yeah.
And we're talking
I'm like that too.
a $2 piece, and I look at it, and I say, why is it like that? The car's a piece of crap.
Right.
Get rid of it.
Right. And you wanted super glue immediately.
Yes.
to try and fix it. But mostly that's just to make your anxiety go away, right?
Well, that's right, because when I look at the car now, which is a beautiful car, the only thing I can see,
Right.
the only thing I can see is the one piece that isn't right.
And the only thing we can see is a beautiful car. I mean, it was surrounded by people all day long.
But everything's context.
Yeah.
We were talking yesterday about automotive psychosis.
Right.
In Santa Monica. It's such a fascinating thing to study, and it's really kind of what we're talking about all the time. Mm-hmm. I'm into this, I'm not into that, I thought I wanted this, and then I got it, and I didn't like it. And I bought this, I didn't even want it, and I ended up loving it. All of these mini dramas that play out in our heads.
Right.
With cars. This thing of some little thing going wrong with a car, and how it punctures the whole house of cards for some reason. We want this thing, you get the thing, but the interior light switch doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it can easily be fixed.
That's right.
But in that moment, you crater. You go off of an emotional cliff.
Well, whenever you're buying a car, you're making a big investment, and you're a little afraid. And that first day, you're trying to judge, did I do the right thing or not?
Right.
And every little thing wrong with it weights it towards, I made a massive mistake here.
Right.
And you start to panic. You're by yourself. But that's where it's handy to know other guys who go through this and to talk about it and just remain calm.
Well, we were saying yesterday, and I thought this was very interesting, about we can't really make an argument against this is addictive behavior. What we're doing is some form of addiction.
This just occurred to you?
No.
No, we were having a longer chat about it.
So what's going on here is you're trying to get the hit. You're trying to get high.
Right.
And for some reason, that side marker light kills your high,
It hurts
and now
your
you
buzz.
can't get off.
It harshes your buzz,
Absolutely.
Zuckerman.
Right?
Right.
That's right.
That's the problem.
Absolutely.
But he was high the moment he bought it, right? That was the
No,
real
way
high.
before that. You're high when you hear it. I heard of something. Somebody calls you.
Sure, because the best part of any high is just before you get high. That's when everything's perfect. When the promise is there.
Yes,
Nothing's gone
yes.
wrong yet.
Right.
You're getting ready for
Yes.
it. You're getting ready for the high and getting your bong out and
Now
there
tell
it is.
our fans or our listeners what just started up over here. This is an
That
interesting
was
car.
a 964 RS.
No, the white car.
Which white car?
The
I can't
Vashek
see it.
car.
Oh, that's the Vashek Polak RS. That's all I know about that car. It's a Vashek Polak's personal RS. It has an emblem delete, which if you drive it, it feels that much lighter.
Oh.
It's missing that wafer thin weight. Next to and I looked like that 964 RS was being driven by the RM Sotheby's guys, so it's probably coming up for auction.
Right, a red 964 RS,
That's
guards
what's-
red.
That's what's great about being out here is the stuff that shows up. Just
Right.
across the way there, I'm looking at that Faraday
Oh, don't.
future Tesla
Really?
beater thing. Do you guys know anything about this? I know there's a lot of Chinese money behind it. I know it appears to be a long SUV of some kind, and it appears to be in its kind of test phase. What do you guys think when you look? What's your first impression of the Faraday Future, Jerry?
I'm not interested in the future.
It's in its movie prop
Yeah.
stage right now,
Yeah.
where it looks like someone just made it in a cave somewhere,
Yeah.
right? And
It's like Batman got some girl pregnant, and now he's taking care of her, and he bought her this for the kid. And
now Faraday, whoever you are, is there a Faraday? Do we know? Is there a guy? Is there a Mr. Faraday?
Oh, if there is, he's achieving bankruptcy right now. That's what my prediction of the future.
Don't take these criticisms too harshly, because Jerry, I remember early on when the 918 was announced, Porsche 918, you weren't crazy about that.
you're going way back now.
Way back. There was a lot of complaining about that car.
Yes, I thought it was overly complex. I didn't understand the need for a hybrid supercar.
Right.
I thought it was just an image thing.
That
companies need to appear socially conscious, so they put the little lowercase h.
Right.
It also comes in the 500 lowercase h, so you can feel good about the planet. That's fine.
But it was also that you were maybe doing their advertising for them.
Yes, tell the world that we are socially responsible.
Right.
It's also, there was a finger issue. You know, you were saying a lot of Ferrari guys were just getting the finger here in Southern California, right?
Uh-huh.
Just for having it. So this stops the finger. It's a finger stopper.
Perhaps.
And I listened to you.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of listening to you, believing everything you said,
Right.
and not getting one.
Right.
Thank you.
And
It's
what
not
happened?
all my fault.
It is.
It is. I'm going to blame you. I lost $1 million because of you.
Really? You
I've-
would have bought one if it wasn't for me. But I changed my mind. Why didn't you change with me?
It was too late then.
It wasn't really
Never
too
too
late
late.
because one was put in front of you.
One was dangled in front of me, and I believed that it was just going to be a way to give away money instead of make money.
Yeah. Well, I remember it had the all-time high lease payment of any car I've ever seen in my life. And it
I
was
like
a
to
little
lose money
scary.
on cars. I don't ever feel bad that I've lost money on cars.
All right. Well, let's talk about what Porsche's got going on. This week they...
Let's talk about these Hitler videos. I don't know if our viewers know the fantastic running gag of the... What do you think in the movie that scene is? They're telling Hitler that we're losing the war. We're going to lose.
You're talking about the viral little YouTube Hitler TV show or movie video that
Hitler complains about his...
Right.
What's the GTR1?
Yes.
He blows the transmission, finds out it's not covered
Void
under
of
the warranty.
That's
Void of
right.
the warranty.
Yes. It's used for
That's when I
variety.
first discovered it. What about you?
I actually saw the movie. I did see the movie.
Yeah.
As a good Jewish guy, I needed to immerse myself in his downfall in the bunker at the end.
Right.
And I've been delighted by all the various iterations that people have gone to that length of effort, creativity to put these things together. And the greatest one was the 911R.
That was the most
when the
recent one.
GT3 came out with they
Right,
announced that you
yeah.
could available manual, which Hitler has a 911R. He gets this bad news.
No, he has an 911R that he overpaid for. He didn't get it for sticker. He got it for $500,000 or $600,000.
Oh, really?
That's the idea, right?
Ah, so
and that,
funny.
but it's now going to hold its value, and then
Yeah.
Porsche announces we're going to give you the manual transmission in the GT3, and also, by the way, a rumored touring package. What do you do in that situation? You're specking out your next GT3. Do you like?
I'm not getting a GT3
And why not?
because I'm in a GT2 RS head right now. I want the fastest possible 911 ever made.
Right.
That idea is very appealing to me right now. I don't know why.
And you had a great idea for how to get it spec'd. The test mule package. Tell
Test
everybody
mule
what that
package.
is.
That's as I think. Yeah, plastic cladding, taped on,
Just like you see it in
weird
spy
holes,
photos.
3 different color wheels. That's what I want. I want the test mule package.
But what do you really think about this 911R versus the GT3 manual? I mean, give me your perspective on that. Because I didn't get a 911R.
Right.
I was one of those guys, but I'm not losing sleep over it. It's not
Right.
the worst thing that can happen to you in life is you don't get a 911R. And this GT3 with a manual, I'm conflicted all over the place about this.
Why?
Well, I shared with you what I might do with mine. I might spec it out if there is a touring package. I might make it look like that. I might give get it a manual transmission. But at the same time, we all know this PDK is so fast, and
Yeah.
that car is so agile, and the wing just adds to that stability.
Yeah.
The
911R is, to me, always going to be a separate cool thing. Paul and I like certain aspects of these cars that people, Spike, you will say, well, it's just an emblem. The European is just an emblem. And Paul will say, yes, and I want to jam it into the side of my forehead. The R on the rear lid of the R, that's what that car is about.
That's what you're paying
Fantastic.
for.
Yes,
Right.
It's fantastic. There's no question. The new GT3, get it with the 6-speed if you want to be slower, and get it with the touring package if you don't want to scare
What
somebody's schnauzer.
what if I buy an R on eBay for $15 and just stick it on the back.
You could do that.
Then I've got my car cheaper.
I mean,
than
there's
yours.
no question the new GT3 is the car. You know, the way you're talking about doing it is, to me, the genius move. And you've got a better car now than anybody's are.
I think so. I absolutely think so. All right, we're going to
Especially
talk.
I've seen Chris Harris's video last night, which we talked about.
We did.
Yeah, which was great. That engine. Did you watch the video?
I did not see it.
The engine in this new GT3 this is right out of the race car. This is the best engine that they've ever put in one of these.
When we come back, we're going to take a little break. We'll talk more about Chris Harris and his new GT3 video and how none of us can drive like him.
Adam Carolla's motivational podcast, Take a Knee, is a part of Podcast One Premium. But you can hear a very special episode with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar now for free at podcastone.com.
How much do you think that discipline has affected your life and helped you in further endeavors after
It's helped me a
sports?
lot because, you know, when you get to a point when you can look back, all the times that I failed had to do with my own laziness and arrogance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And when you get humble and understand that you got to work for it and earn it, you get things done.
To subscribe and get a new episode of Take a Knee each week, go to podcastone.com/premium.
You're listening to Spike's Car Radio.
All right, why is it that none of us can drive like Chris Harris? You
He
said
does it for a living. Move on. That's his job. Okay?
you've been driving for a long time.
Oh,
Why
stop.
can't you drive like that? I've seen you on the track. You're a little too respectful
Yeah.
of the vehicle and the conditions. Don't you want to? Don't you want to be able?
Schmucky people who think they should be good at something, so they act like they are.
No,
You're not good at it.
I
You
think-
don't spend any time doing it. You were never taught properly by someone that knows how to do it, and that's why you can't do it. It's a skill.
Well, don't you want to learn?
Yeah, but I have a life. All right, here's what I want to talk about.
A little defensive, Mr. Seinfeld. I
It's
think
so
he's a little
stupid.
defensive
It's
about-
just stupid.
It's
He does
not.
two things well is the problem. He talks well and he drives well.
Yeah.
Two things doing
thank
two
you.
things really well.
Yeah,
That's one more than you really need.
maybe. Well, you sent me that video last night at midnight
Yeah.
after a baseball game.
Yeah, yeah.
And I sat and I watched it twice. Yeah. At midnight. I needed to go to bed, so
I know.
we had to do this.
That relaxed you, didn't it?
Really relaxed me.
Me too. I watched that. My eyes were closing. I'm nodding off.
Right.
But I gotta watch this whole thing.
Right.
Well, we all love Chris Harris
But with the GT3,
with the new GT3. Yeah.
and so that didn't sell you on the car because it sold
It
me.
did. It did sell me.
Right.
Which is we could get into that subject. We can do 4 hours here.
right.
That video turned me last night.
It
I
turned
started-
you on the car.
Yeah.
It turned you in
me.
this conversation because a few minutes ago you said you weren't buying it, but now you want it.
That's true.
So tell me how you would spec it out, just quickly, and then we'll move on. Would you do the PDK or would you do the manual?
PDK.
PDK.
Stop.
You know, most people are ordering manuals.
They're stupid.
He has the R.
I have the R.
Everyone else is stupid. You have the R.
I have 200 cars,
Right.
Spike. All right, go ahead. What
I
do you
didn't
got?
steal it. I earned it.
You did.
Um,
you did. You earned all of it.
Okay, one of the things I love about Zuckerman is that his car is always cooking. He's always it's like Bill's kitchen. There's always
Right.
something going in there.
Mm-hmm.
He's making something. He's throwing something out. He's got another idea for a different kind of French toast.
And if you've noticed, he debuts on Friday afternoons. He'll show up in the new thing. Surprise.
And we're always and usually what I will ask him is I go, what's orbiting you these days?
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking at? What are you thinking about? Every car guy has cars in orbit, right? Looking at that, thinking about that. But what is the real white whale? What is the Zuckerman white whale that you would give up anything that you have? What is that car?
Okay, that changes though. That just like you, it changes.
Right.
So at the moment, if you were going to ask me right now, what would it be? It would be a 959S.
Ah, really? See, no, I didn't know that about you.
Well, I didn't know that until you asked me, and then it popped into my head,
that's
and
interesting.
tomorrow that could be different because
Why that car today?
Yeah, and why is that hard to find? Is that really a white whale?
It's very hard to find. There's 20 of them.
They're 20.
There's 20.
You got one.
I got one, yeah.
of course he has one.
So 1/3 of the table has them.
I bought mine out of Hemmings.
I remember. This is the
Hemmings.
Swiss car, right? With no
Swiss
miles.
car
It was in a
packed
crate.
art museum
Wow.
warehouse. when new. Drove from Stuttgart to Zurich, packed it in a box, and that was.
And then did
there.
that get stuck at customs?
No, it came right in.
It came right in.
Yeah.
Wow. And
It had already been show and display.
So this is a car that was never driven.
Right.
And what did you have to do to it to get it to? How long?
Porsche took it for a while, and then Bruce Canepa took it, and now it's good.
All right. Well,
It's beyond good.
Yeah, it's really
I've
good.
driven it. It's lovely. Why can't we find Zuckerman this car? What is a car like that worth these days?
Well, first of all, you have to find Zuckerman the money, and then after the money,
Well, what is the money,
The
Zuckerman?
money.
For a 959S, a 959S that's been gone through with it, where everything's been done right, where the car has achieved the potential it always should have achieved, you got to be looking north of $2 million.
Wow.
That money finds you constantly. Zuckerman will call me up on a Wednesday and go,
Spike, I got a construction worker. Tripped on a piece of rebar, and it pierced his scrotum. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to make so much money off of that.
That's a true story.
I get
Right?
excited just hearing about it.
No names, please.
you do very well. But you also have a pretty big collection right now, right, of cars. I think putting together in my head, I could put 2 cars together you could sell right now and easily have them for a couple
you could come
million.
up with the money.
I could.
Are there things that you would sell from your collection to get it?
Okay, remember squirrel theory, my friend.
No.
Squirrel theory. We're essentially like squirrels. We get the nuts. We don't ever eat them. We don't share them. They get put away. We hoard them, and so I get these things. I get somewhat attached to them. It's hard for me to let them go.
Right.
And also my mind inflates their value. And if you're not willing to pay what my mind thinks they're worth, I'm not going to sell it.
Right. You, I think more than anybody, I think when it comes to cars, a lot of people are buying for investments, but liquidity is always an issue. But you in particular, Zuckerman, I watch you make a lot of money with cars. You seem to be able to get rid of stuff quickly. How are you doing that? Give people advice on how to get rid of their car, because as you say all the time, we all think we have all this money in cars, but you really don't until you sell it.
Right.
Yeah, it's all imaginary.
How are you doing that? You do really well.
Well, I think a couple of things. I think I'm buying decent cars now. I didn't always buy decent cars. I had to learn. I had to pay tuition in the school of cars. I had to get ripped off. I had to get abused. I had to get plucked like a chicken. And now I've kind of figured out what to buy. And I also know people at this point. And I'm sure the same for you, Spike, and the same for you, Jerry. Now we know people who know what we have, and they know that we have good stuff. And when we want to release something, as you say, when we want to release something, they are willing to accept it.
Right. And Jerry, you just did that at Amelia a year ago.
I did it a year ago, and I did it last month. I moved 6 cars on.
So 18.6. So look at that, 24 cars.
Yeah.
Have you filled those spots yet with your stuff?
Some of them I have, yes.
And then some.
I went to into my building this morning to see my brand new 1969 Savannah Beige VW Bug that I found on the Samba. Because 69 is kind of one of those, a lot of this stuff is like where I was, who I was in 1969. I was really going car crazy in 69. I was in 9th grade. And I still had to wait 3 years to drive. And something about VWs, because Porsches were that was just a complete out of reach car. You'd never have that kind of money.
Right.
So the VW was the achievable idea, and the engineering and simplicity and usability is like, if I had that car, I could go anywhere in the world, and nobody could stop me. It would just seem like such an object of opportunity and freedom. And I think that's where the car thing starts for guys. I think it's a little different maybe in this generation, but for us, it was like I get out of the house, I could see my friends, girls, the whole world opens up to you.
Yeah, get away from your parents.
So this car, I didn't know really what I was buying. I bought it sight unseen, just from video pictures, online pictures, and it turned out to be a beautifully preserved example, and the steering wheel has this very solid, strong. You were talking about the steering wheel in the 71. It's very similar. That's 69. That hard black plastic that they were making in those days is very tactile, and I'm just so excited about this car.
And didn't you just sell a Bug at Amelia last year?
I did. I sold a 60 Bug that was like a 5,000-mile car.
And set a record. It was 100.
Yeah, with $100,000, worth every penny. It was. That's a really rare, special car.
That guy should have no regrets.
No regrets.
No.
I'll buy it back from him today. If you're out there and you have that 60 Bug and you want your money back, I'll give it to you.
That's a really good thing to do on this podcast.
Yeah.
Try to get some of our cars back.
Yeah.
Because I want my 73 911T back from that guy, Steve.
That's the car you think about the most.
That's the
isn't it?
one. Yeah, that's
of the
one that's
cars
in my
that you
head.
have moved on from.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a car I'm stocking right now in the Palisades. It's 64, 1964,
unbelievable.
356C, silver black. An old guy. He's old now, but when he was young, bought it on his honeymoon. This is my birth year car. And he's owned it ever since, and he leaves it parked outside of his house all the time. Just like a car.
It's unbelievable.
It's been crashed. Oh, God, someone's been shot. Seinfeld is down. That was a balloon popping. Thank you, Bill, for the balloons.
So that car is your white whale, right?
That car right now.
If you could have anything in the world.
No, I really want Bruce Meyer's 1961 250 short wheelbase, the one that won Le Mans.
Right,
that one right there is the one.
Yeah, but that's a crazy thing.
Well, you said white whales.
I know, but a white whale, Ahab thought he was going to get it.
Right. Yeah,
he had a chance to get it.
I'm stalking this car, and this is something you and I pioneered a long time ago, which is seed theory. Do you remember talking about this theory?
Yes,
seed theory is a way that you folks can use to get a car that you long for, that a friend of yours or a neighbor owns, or even someone from another state.
Yeah.
Right? The idea that you can plant a little seed in their head one day, and then it will grow, it will take root, and then fester, and then you will get the car. It was a very simple idea, and I remember when you first suggested it, which was, there'll come a day when this guy wants some money, or this woman, whoever owns this car will want some money, and if you just say in the right way, I love your car, I think it's beautiful, if you ever think about selling it someday, and then maybe check in on that a year, right?
Well, one of the other great flaws of the human brain, as Paul probably exploits on a daily basis, is its suggestibility.
Right.
You suggest an idea to someone, even if they don't like it, the fact that it's been suggested makes them want to do it, right?
Absolutely. As Spike, as you always say, the brain is a dumb computer.
It's a dumb computer. That's right.
What you tell it.
You just tell it things. That's why advertising works. That's why fake news works.
Yeah.
That's why the Russians were able to do what they did.
Yeah.
Exactly right. And I'm in the middle of that campaign right now with that 356, and I think I'm going to get it. I'm going to try to liberate the 911T, too. Though I think the three of us met that guy. Didn't we meet him?
Absolutely.
And he is a guy who said, I'm never selling that thing.
Never means soon.
Never means soon. That's right. But he's going to do it. You're probably hearing a lot of squawking right now. There's a lady with a pony who just showed up here to the porch in Malibu, and she's a loud talker. She's a very loud talker, and she's got a funny-looking...
We never did that episode, did we?
No, we did not.
Close, we did low.
We didn't do loud talker?
We never did a loud talker.
We could do it right now.
Season
Let's
11.
go. What's the first scene? There she is.
The first scene is you're in a gym. And someone's talking with their trainer, and you're hearing every syllable. And you want to know why.
There you go. We'll bring the show back. You would never bring
Do you want some of this?
I'm good, thank you.
You would never bring the show back, right? Have people asked you from time to time to bring the show back?
I got a very handsome offer from a very large consortium.
Recently?
About a year ago. And the offer was, there's no number. The check is blank. There's no number.
Wow.
If you
Look at Zuckerman licking. Oh, no number's the best number,
Yeah.
Jerry.
Well, you know, when you make something like that, you just consider yourself lucky
And,
that
and,
you were
and
there.
what were they asking you to do?
They wanted to make one more episode. Is that the car?
That's a different car. That's one like it.
Frequently here.
Yeah, that's
Close,
a
though, isn't
silver
it?
356 going by. But wait, let's get back to
I
this.
love that guy.
This is
We know this guy, right?
yeah, we do.
I love that car.
It's a beautiful car.
Oh, that's a show business talk. Nobody wants to hear about that.
Well, you're in the middle of it. Finish it.
Just, people make offers.
And you said no.
Entities in our industry make offers.
Well, there are a lot of TV shows that are coming back.
Yeah. Good luck to them. I wish him the best.
We know what that means.
What does it mean, Zuckerman? That's Jewish talk, right? What is it?
Well, it's 5,000 years of Jewish history encapsulated in a seemingly nice comment, and I'm not going to say what it really means.
It means
You
go
guys-
fuck yourself.
That's funny. I thought you said that to Kesha. Anyways, on the red carpet. All right, back to car talk. This turbo exclusive S. Explain to us what this car is. The Turbo
Special
S.
edition is I think what they're calling it.
No, it's the Turbo S exclusive edition.
Oh, okay.
It says exclusive on it.
Oh, really?
Right? It's 602 horsepower. It comes in 6 colors. They chose to roll it out in this golden yellow metallic color.
Yeah.
Did you like that?
I like that they put something out there in the color palette that you would never imagine.
Right.
Which I think is what is the function of color.
Right.
The function of color is to touch different cones in the back of your eyeball that stimulate certain things in the brain that are very pleasurable. I drove Paul's
That's the function of color?
Yes.
Okay.
Color is to stimulate, to excite, and entertain. And I drove Paul's 92, 964 Maritime Blue. Look up Maritime Blue. And that color on those fenders was really hitting me driving up PCH, and I enjoyed it enormously.
Well, he had a Maritime Blue RS, but that car had been painted, and that paint was different than this paint. This is original
you think
paint.
so? I don't think so.
I do.
You see a shade
So
difference?
I've been told by the new owner. I usually have a rule, which is when I sell a car, there's no complaints. There's no,
Right.
It's not a two-way street.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about it anymore. I don't want to know what you're doing with it, what you found was wrong.
Yeah.
And this one guy he just hawks me nonstop about this car, and he wants to tell me I don't think the paint is real. I think it's repainted.
Right.
I don't agree, but now I'm just going with it.
Right.
Well, this Turbo S seems to just have every option in it that you can check. Every box is ticked, and it's got
We're
luggage.
not option guys. We're what makes it structurally different, emotionally different.
Well, it's got
experientially different. We don't care about stitching.
I like the wheels.
It's fake.
I like the wheels. You think it's fake? Why?
It's a marketing maneuver. Yes.
It's a marketing maneuver. It's just it's getting a lap dance in the back room. It's nothing's really
champagne
happening.
room?
Yeah, nothing's happening.
It's as expensive as that.
They're parting you with more money from
right.
And I had decided I wanted the car, and Paul stomped on me yesterday and killed it. He killed it, and that's why I brought the '71 Targa, because I had to get back at him for ruining my fun yesterday.
All I did was make a face. I just made a little face at you.
When he makes a face, boy, it's like a cloud comes over the sun.
So what are you going to buy? Because Porsche's rolling out a lot of great stuff. The GT3 RS, is that the only thing you're excited about? What do you know?
I'm not interested in the GT3 RS. I'm not interested in the
GT2 RS.
I'm interested in the GT2
Yes.
RS.
Why?
Yes.
I had the first
You had one.
996 GT2.
I remember it.
I have a 993 GT2, which is a very rare and special car, which I love. Because I'm really a 930 guy. I love the pure, basic, hairy turbo. I like the vibe of it. I like the lightness of it. I like the whoosh of it. I don't like the turbos in the regular models, but I love them when it's called a turbo.
Right. But I remember that car. I drove it at Willow. It scared me a little bit.
Which car?
The Adriatic blue one, right?
Yeah, the
GT2.
996 GT2, people had a lot of
monster.
problems with it.
Well, it got out, the back end came out on that back straightaway at about 60 miles an hour when I got on it.
Yeah.
You sold that car, right?
Yeah, I did.
So you think the new GT2 RS isn't going to be like that? To me,
No, they figured that out
did.
after that iteration. I got that car, by the way, in 1970 Adriatic blue, a 914 color.
Right.
And that came out great.
So that's it. There's nothing new on the horizon then?
New stuff or old stuff?
Anything. What are you looking for? What would Jerry Seinfeld buy?
Paul damaged his black speedster the other day.
Oh, why? I can't believe you brought that up.
It wasn't his fault. Although Spike and I were wondering, were you on the phone when this happened?
You are
Absolutely
on the phone.
not.
Okay, all right.
Well, let's just give the audience a little bit of history, though, before you just threw something on the table there.
It's such a special car. Tell him about this car.
Paul has been.
But anyway, that's the car I want now.
But he's been
because it's damaged.
But he's been in 2 accidents in Hollywood. Paul drives his cars. It's amazing. He drives them on a Monday. He'll get in a speedster and drive from Point Dume all the way into Hollywood. But you've been in 2 pretty scary accident. The first one was the scariest accident where you get hit in a 356 and the whole thing kind of crunched on you like a Coke can and they had to peel you out. But just last week, in this beautiful 58 Speedster, this black Speedster, tell everybody what happened.
This is very funny because just the other day you said the first thing we're going to do is we're not going to tell anybody. We're not going to tell anybody.
That was you and me. I didn't tell him. I forgot
now,
to tell him
now,
that.
Here we are.
It doesn't matter.
We've
You
all-
sell the car. I'm the buyer.
Okay.
We've all been in bad accidents like this with things that we love.
And actually, I took this pretty well. I did take this one pretty well. I loved that car. I loved everything about that car. I don't know how deep you want me to get into it.
Well,
but
it's a 58
Tell 'em what
Speedster,
it is.
black,
Okay, it's
Rudge
a
knockoff wheels.
Okay, well, we know this. 58 was the last year of the Speedster. In 58, they made approximately 800 Speedsters. Of those 800 Speedsters, only 29 were black. Of those 29 black ones, only 8 were Supers, which had the somewhat bigger engine, which put out about 20% more horsepower. And of those 8 cars that were black Supers, only 2 came from the factory with Rudge wheels. And
This car is so sold right now. It has just closed me. He just closed me.
well, you know,
with the broken smile, the
Always
Speedster with
be
the broken
closing.
smile.
always be ABC.
Wow, so this is an opportunity for you.
Go ahead.
Well, and here's the final nail. The cars were built in tandem on the production line to identical spec, these 2 cars. And the first one that came off the production line went brand new to Steve McQueen. And his son
We know
Chad
that
still
Speedster.
has that car.
Yep.
And this is the twin. This is the identical twin.
Wow.
And it is an absolutely wonderful
So
car.
you're flying up Crescent Heights.
I'm driving.
What time of day? On what
I'm
day?
driving at about 7:30 on a weekday at about 30 miles an hour.
Okay.
Northbound on Crescent Heights, and a minivan
In Hollywood.
A minivan parked over on the right just looped a U-turn in front of me, and I T-boned him on the driver's side. And
What is it like to crash in a Speedster that's got just lap belts and
Yeah.
a wooden wheel? What does it feel like?
it hurts.
It hurts.
Really?
Where
It hurts.
where does your body hit the car?
Well, your chest takes the brunt of it. You pretty much hit that hard Bakelite steering
You
wheel.
did? You
and
hit the steering wheel?
yeah, I hit him hard. I went in. I went in,
It
Speedster.
didn't
baby.
look like that much damage, though.
Oh, it bent both fenders down. It bent both fenders. I don't know if the frame is bent, but it was a big shot. But it was like it wasn't anything compared to my first accident, and the car was still drivable.
That's awesome.
And of course,
drove away
this
from
being Hollywood, there was a nice guy in a Star Trek T-shirt. He looked a little bit dazed and
What
confused.
else? What else was in the minivan?
2 large hippie girls and 10 rescue cats.
Devastating. But what we know about these cars is they're pretty easy to fix and restore and paint, right?
They're very qualified people that do beautiful work. I was trying to
Name 5.
How many do you need? 1.
Okay, but there's 2,
Okay,
and
there's
that's
2.
2, and they're both pushing 70.
When my Speedster was restored and they took it down to the metal, it had accidents all over the place.
Right.
All over the place.
That's
What
what
speedsters
that's
are.
what happens
But I
to
tried
these
to make
cars.
you feel better.
And you did.
I told him I said it's still one of the greatest cars of all time. Will continue to be that. Will be fixed perfectly, and I'll buy it from you today as is.
Isn't that nice?
That is nice, but that would make me feel worse. I
Why?
don't know
Okay.
why. I did what just
But
made me.
I was just trying to tell you the value of the car has
Right.
not changed.
It hasn't.
That's what I was trying to
Why, you
communicate.
can make money right now, Zuckerman.
The
Come
value is the same. It's
Okay.
still that car.
It is.
My 52 America Roadster was aluminum foil after a tuna sandwich, balled up in 3rd grade. And John Wilhoit made it this beautiful thing it is
yeah,
today.
it's gorgeous. Yeah.
It is,
Now you're not going to worry about it.
I'm not
worry
going to worry
about
that.
about
After you
it.
get
And I'm
in
going to
an
get a
accident.
brand new car in a year, and I'm going to have a surplus of Speedsters because this comes right on the heels of you just dumping on me your Speedster project, which was an
Right.
incredibly special car also.
Another special Speedster, also a 58 Super, but with a factory clock and radio.
Wow. And how does that feel when you're driving it?
Oh, amazing.
It's so much different when
When it's factory, it's
yeah,
the
when you
greatest
got that
feeling.
clock
Yeah.
and you can look at it and
Oh,
tell
the
time.
clock, yeah.
It's
that
amazing.
was high option in 58. You
Yeah.
could not get more in
Isn't
58.
it? I think we're all in agreement that could be our favorite Porsche, right? The 58 Speedster?
The 58 Speedster, yeah.
Is that the one-car collection?
Well, I have the 59 GT.
Right.
So, and that's a notch above even a 58 because it's a lightweight and it's a 4-cam.
Right. Well, gentlemen, we have to stop.
Wow.
We've had a nice time here.
Just got started.
I know we just get started, but I get the feeling we're going to be back here together.
Okay.
Over and over and over again. And we can talk cars and we can talk whatever else you want. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to
What about Bill? Can Bill
Spike's
just say
Car
a word?
Radio.
Bill?
What's for
Everybody is fascinated with Bill. Bill is like he's like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain here.
We'll get to Bill on the next time. All right, fellas. That's all the time we have. Jerry, thanks for coming out, my friend. You're headed back to New York right now?
Yes, sir.
Paul?
Thank you.
Where are you going today after this?
I'm going to go hang out with the kids.
Just going to get
Nice.
some chicken and bring it to the boy.
Chicken for the boy.
And I'm going to take a nice drive. Next week, we will have Chris Hardwick. It's been nice talking to you, folks. See you soon.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio. Download new episodes every Wednesday on the Podcast One app or subscribe now at Apple Podcasts or PodcastOne.com.
You love podcasts. The stories, the laughs, the unexpected turns. But when this episode ends, the silence starts. Not anymore. Audiobooks.com turns that silence into your next great adventure. With over 450,000 titles, from bestsellers to hidden gems, your love for listening just found its new best friend. And because you already know the joy of audio, we're giving you 3 free audiobooks to start your journey. Imagine your favorite podcast, now with unlimited episodes. That's audiobooks.com. Keep the story going. Sign up for your free trial at audiobooks.com/podcastfree today. Because for podcast lovers like you, the end of an episode is just the beginning. That's audiobooks.com/podcastfree.